faithful, discreet, and chosen friends. And we would caution you in this beginning that every magical experiment flies from the public, seeking to be hid, is strengthened and confirmed by silence, but is destroyed by publication. Never does any complete effect follow after. Likewise, all the virtue of thy work will suffer detriment when poured into weak, prating, and incredulous minds. Therefore, if thou would be a magician and gain fruit from this art, be secret and manifest to none either thy work, or place, or time, nor thy desire, or will, except it be to a master, or partner, or companion, who should likewise be faithful, discreet, silent, and dignified by nature and education. Seeing that even the prating of a companion is unbelief, doubting, questioning, and lastly, unworthiness, hinders and disturbs the effect in every operation. Part 2. What dignity and preparation is essentially necessary to him who would become a true magician? It is fit that we who endeavor to attain so great a height should first study two things, namely, first, how we should leave vain and carnal affections, frail sense, and material passions. Secondly, by what ways and means we may ascend to an intellect pure and joined with the powers of the celestials, without which we shall never happily ascend to the scrutiny of secret things, and to the power of working wonderful effects, etc. Now, if thou art a man perfect in thy understanding, and constantly meditating upon what we have in this book written, and without doubting, believing, thou shalt be able, by praying, consecrating, deprecating, invocating, etc., to attract spiritual and celestial gifts, and to imprint them on whatever things thou shalt please, and by it to vivify every magical work. Part 3. That the knowledge of the true God is necessary for a magician. Seeing that the being and operation of all things depend on the Most High God, Creator of all things, and from thence on the other divine powers, to whom also is granted a power of fashioning and creating, not principally, indeed, but instrumentally, by virtue of the first great Creator. For the beginning of everything is the first cause, but what is produced by the second cause is much more produced by the first, which is the producer of the second cause, which therefore we call secondaries. It is necessary, therefore, that every magician should know that very God, which is the first cause and creator of all things, and likewise the other divine powers, which we call the second causes, and not to be ignorant of them, and likewise what holy rites, ceremonies, etc. are conformable to them. But above all, we are to worship in spirit and truth, and place our firm dependence upon that one only God, who is the author and promoter of all good things, the Father of all, most bountiful and wise, the sacred light of justice, and the absolute and sole perfection of all nature, and the contriver of wisdom thereof. Part 4. Of divine emanations, and 10 Sphirot, and 10 most sacred names of God which rule them, and the interpretation of them. God himself, although he is Trinity in persons, yet he is but one only, simple essence. Yet we doubt not but that there are in him many divine powers, which emanate or flow from him. The Kabbalists, most learned in divine things, have received the 10 principal names of God as certain divine powers, or, as it were, members of God, which, by 10 numerations, which we call sphirot, as it were, vestments, instruments, or exemplars of the archetype, have an influence upon all created things, from the highest to the lowest, yet by a certain order. For first and immediately they have influence upon the 9 orders of angels and choirs of blessed souls, and by them into the celestial spheres, planets, and men, by the which sphirot everything receiveth power and virtue. The first of these is the name Eya, the name of the divine essence. His numeration is called Keter, which is interpreted a crown or diadem, and signifies the most simple essence of the divinity. And it is called that which the eye seeth not, and is attributed to God the Father, and hath its influence by the order of seraphim, or Hayot HaKadosh, that is, creatures of holiness. And then, by the primum mobile, it bestows the gift of being upon all things, and filleth the whole universe, both through the circumference and center. His particular intelligence is called Metatron, that is, the Prince of Faces, whose duty it is to bring others to the face of the Prince, and by him the Lord spake to Moses. The second name is Yod, or Tetragrammaton, joined with Yod. His numeration is Chokmah, that is, wisdom, and signifies the divinity full of ideas, and the first begotten, and is attributed to the Son, and has its influence by the order of cherubim, and that the Hebrews call Ophanim, that is, forms or wheels, and from thence into the starry heavens, where he frames so many figures as he hath ideas in himself, and distinguishes the very chaos of the creatures by a particular intelligence, called Raziel, who was the ruler of Adam. The third name is called Tetragrammaton Elohim. His numeration is named Bina, namely, providence and understanding, and signifies remissness, quietness, the Jubilee, penitential conversion, a great trumpet, redemption of the world, and the life of the world to come. It is attributed to the Holy Spirit, and hath his influence by the order of thrones, or which the Hebrews call Avalim, that is, great angels, mighty and strong, and from thence, by the sphere of Saturn, administers form to the unsettled matter, whose particular intelligence is Zafkiel, the ruler of Noah, and another intelligence named Yophiel, the ruler of Shem. And these are the 3 supreme and highest numerations, as it were, seats of the divine persons, by whose command all things are made, but are executed by the other 7, which are therefore called numerations framing. The fourth name is El, whose numeration is Chesed, which signifies clemency or goodness. Likewise, grace, mercy, piety, magnificence, the scepter and right hand, and hath its influence by the order of dominations, which the Hebrews call Hasmalim, and so through the sphere of Jupiter fashions the image of bodies, bestowing clemency and pacifying justice on all. His particular intelligence is GTAO, the ruler of Abraham. The fifth name is Elohim Gibor, that is, the mighty God, punishing the sins of the wicked. And his numeration is called Gibor, which is to say, power, gravity, fortitude, security, judgment, punishing by slaughter and war, and it is applied to the tribunal of God, the girdle, the sword, the left hand of God. And it is also called Akkad, which is fear, and hath his influence through the order of powers, which the Hebrews call Seraphim, and from thence through the sphere of Mars, to whom belong fortitude, war, and affliction. It draweth forth the elements, and his particular intelligence is Kamael, the ruler of Samson. The sixth name is Eloah, or a name of 4 letters joined with Vauda. His numeration is Tifereth, that is, apparel, beauty, glory, pleasure, and signifies the tree of life, and hath his influence through the order of virtues, which the Hebrews call Malachim, that is, angels, into the sphere of the sun, giving brightness and life to it, and from thence producing metals. His particular intelligence is Raphael, who was the ruler of Isaac, and Tobi the younger, and the angel Eliel, the ruler of Jacob. The seventh name is Tetragrammaton Sabaoth, or Adonai Sabaoth, the God of hosts, and his enumeration is Netzach, that is, triumph and victory. The right column is applied to it, and it signifies the justice and eternity of a revenging God. It hath its influence through the orders of principalities, whom the Hebrews call Elohim, into the sphere of Venus, gives zeal and love of righteousness, and produces vegetables. His intelligence is Haniel, and the angel Cardiel, the ruler of David. The eighth is called also Elohim Sabaoth, which is likewise the God of hosts, not of war and justice, but of piety and agreement. For this name signifies both, and precedeth his army. The numeration of this is called Hod, which is praise, confession, honor, and faith. The left column is attributed to it. It hath its influence through the order of the archangels, which the Hebrews call Ben Elohim, that is, the sons of God, into the sphere of Mercury, and gives elegancy and consonancy of speech, and produces living creatures. His intelligence is Michael, who was the ruler of Solomon. The ninth name is called Shaddai, that is, omnipotent, satisfying all,